provided by various Staten Island personnel. Most of them I have known and worked with on the recreation of Berlin Lodge. I'd like to read what it says. Staten Island Scouting Borough memorializes and recognizes those who gave their service and time to Staten Island Scouting. Their steadfast leadership ensured our scouts had a strong program to learn lifelong skills and make forever friendships. They are George Abdu Sr., Lawrence Ambrosino, Emil Andreo, John Jack Baird, Charlotte Barker, Francesco Barnes Sr., Bernard Bergeron, Ronald Best, Stephen Bettenhausen, Frederick Black, James Boland, John F. Braniff III, William C. Bunton, Jack Britton, Robert Burns, Harold Cheney, Joseph Carstang, Robert Coltrineri, Minnie Connors, Honorable Mark A. Constantino, Theodore J.T. Cotter, Peter Cuevas, George Davis, Franklin Pete Dean, Louis Del Bagno, Louis DeSario, Stephen DeQuinzio, Joseph D. Giovanni, Lee A. Ellison, Joseph Bud Finley, Richard Phylos, James Flood Sr., Robert Fردella, John Franzreb, Frederick Pop Franzwick, Joseph Gaffney Sr., Frank Gannon, George Garris, Joseph Giglio, Paul Gottlieb, Frank Gordon, Frank Gross, Jack Gutman, Herbert Hagerstorn, Hubert Hagerstorn, Hubert Hawkins, Eric Hansen, David Hayes, Marjorie Healy, Ralph Hoffman, William Huggins, Nathan Nate Gerlin, Stephen Joyce, Richie Caliburton, Donald Coltermeyer, Joseph Keith, Frederick W. Lair, Dominic Lancy, Michael Levenko, Stephen Levenko, Ron Lindeman, Albert V. Maniscalco, Peter Murata, Eric Martin, George McDonald, Bernard McWeeny, Walter Meineke, Jesse Metz, Reverend Herman A. Meyer, Donald Marisi, Gary Modelson, William Mullins, William Murphy, Charles Nisi, Frederick Novo Meski, Torb Olson, Hubie Owens, Frank Paolo, James Phelan Sr., Albert Pinn, Ruth Ann Poller, Alfred T. Pouch, William H. Pouch, Gaspard Bert Quadman, Joseph Rea, George Razawasa, Edward Regis, Philip Ressa, George Rice, Charles Richard, Joel Richardson, Max Rittenhausen, Donald H. Rodriguez, Nicholas Rozak, Steve Santoro, Martin Sheehan, Louis Schultes, Gilbert Schweiger Sr., Gladys Schweiger, Joe Siaka, Robert Shields, Martin Stallone, Larry Soldavi, Richard D. Stanton, Joseph L. Sturbins, Nicholas Straneri, Dana Taranto, Richard Throwbridge, Estelle Van Pelt, Charles Winch, Groversnor Wright, John R. Young Sr., James Yorkton, Steve Zivit, and finally Herbert Zorn.